Hi you guys, welcome back to the Staff Select series. This week I'm going to do something a little different. First of all, the subject of the week is should I enlist for 4 or 6 years? So I'm going to try to help you guys get some information on that. And what I'm going to do a little differently is I'm going to give you this week's lesson as if I was briefing like my actual job. So for those people who want to know what it's like to be a 1NO or an operations intelligence analyst, I'm going to give you this week's lesson as if I was briefing it to my actual commander. So it's going to be a PowerPoint, and it's hopefully give you an idea of what we do very basically, because it's not what everybody does, but this is like the general idea of how tech school goes. And the PowerPoint is not as involved because this is an unclassed PowerPoint, but it just gives you a general overview. So I hope you guys enjoy it. It's not going to be 5 minutes long. It's probably going to be a little bit longer, but it is good information in this PowerPoint. So if you're wondering whether to enlist for 4 or 6 years, just watch it, and then hopefully I'll give you guys some good insight on how to make your decision for that. So until next week, I'll talk to y'all later. Good afternoon, my name is Senior Ms. Sanders, and I will be delivering a brief for you today on whether or not to enlist for 4 or 6 years. This brief is classified unclassed. Here's an overview of what I'll be speaking about today. For the differences in the contracts, all active duty contracts are 4 or 6 years. This does not include the time that will take you up to 8 years, known as inactive reserve, meaning that those who sign up for 4 years will have an additional 4 years that will equal up to 8 of inactive reserve, and those who sign up for 6 years will have an additional 2 of inactive reserve duty, equaling up to 8. Those who enlist for 4 years will follow the normal promotion cycle versus those who enlist for 6 years, who will begin basic military training as an E1 and promote to an E3 directly after tech school graduation or 20 weeks after BMT graduation, whichever one comes first. Also, the date of rank for those who enlist for 6 years will be backdated to the BMT graduation date. However, no back pay will be issued to them. For methods of accelerated promotion, for an E2, those who are wishing to enter as an E2 need to have 2 or more years of college ROTC. They need to either be an Eagle Scout or have completed 20 semester hours or 30 quarter hours of college credit. For those wishing to enter as an E3, need to bring to the recruiter a JROTC completion certificate, or need to have completed 45 semester hours or 67 quarter hours of college. It does not matter if this is standard college or community college, it just needs to be that the hours have been completed. Other than that, all enlistees will come in as an E1 and will rank up as normal. For enlistment and re-enlistment bonuses, the bonuses for 6-year enlistments are larger than 4-year enlistments. For those who enlist for 6 years, the bonuses can be as high as $17,000. However, it should be noted that those who enlist for 6 years and receive the larger bonuses are also normally enlisting in the more difficult and combat-ready jobs, such as linguists or pararescue or TACP. So these tech schools tend to be longer and more difficult. They also tend to have a higher washout rate, which means that they're more difficult to get through and to graduate. So those who enlist for 6 years in order to obtain the higher bonus have the possibility of failing out of the school and still having to complete the 6-year enlistment, versus those who just sign up for the 4-year enlistment and get either no bonus or the lower amount of money. For those who are looking for re-enlistment, it's something very similar. Those who re-enlist at a 4-year mark have the possibility of making more money depending on the zone that they're in, and there's math involved with that, which will not be covered in this brief. But if they re-enlist earlier, it's possible that they can make more money. Or those who enlist for 6 years have the possibility of making more money if they are able to advance rank, which they will be able to do quicker due to the promotion rate that they obtain for signing up for 6 years versus those who sign up for 4 years. For acceleration to staff sergeant, this is one of the biggest incentives of enlisting for 6 years because you rank up quicker as a 6-year enlistee versus a 4-year enlistee. Promotion is highly dependent on timing as it is, but promotion to E1 to E4 is automatic as long as airmen don't get things like Article 15s or LORs that hold them back. 6-year enlistees will promote to E4 quicker than 4-year enlistees. And this will factor into something called time and grade, or TIG, which is a factor of points for the staff sergeant test. So let's say that a person is a senior airman for 2 years versus a person that is a senior airman for 1 year prior to testing. The person who is a senior airman for 2 years will have more time and grade points versus the person who is a senior airman for 1 year, simply because they were a senior airman longer. So it's possible that depending on their other scores in the staff sergeant test, that they will be able to rank up quicker simply because they have more points for time and grade. The pros and cons for enlisting 4 years versus 6 years. For 4 years, the pros are that you are able to get out of the military 2 years sooner if you don't like it. Additionally, you're able to retrain 2 years earlier if you do like the military but you just don't like your job. Finally, you are able to re-enlist 2 years earlier and possibly receive a larger bonus based upon the zone, which again is dependent on the time of what the Air Force has put out. The cons, however, you get a very small or no enlistment bonus at all, or you get delayed testing for staff sergeant. For 6 years, for pros, you get up to a $17,000 signing bonus. You can auto-promote to E3 directly after tech school, and potentially higher re-enlistment bonus based on the higher rank if you obtain staff sergeant by the end of the 6 years before you enter your second contract. For cons, you have an extra 2 years of service if you don't like the military. Also, you have to wait an additional 2 years to re-enlist and or retrain if you don't like your job. And for those who are not choosing to serve the full 20 years, the difference between those who serve 4 years and 6 years is really not significant enough for it to matter. So recommendations on whether to sign up for 4 or 6 years. For those airmen who have college credit or JROTC credit or any other incentive that will allow them to sign up as an E2 or an E3 automatically, it is suggested that you sign up for 4 years. There really is no extra incentive for you to sign up for 6 years. The only exception to this is those who are searching for the larger enlistment bonuses. However, again, it must be repeated that one must complete the training and pass the school in order to receive the bonus, and if you fail out, you still have to do the 6 years. For all others who have no credits and are planning to do the 20 years, it is recommended that you sign up for 6 years. Again, this is for those who are planning to do the 20 years, as if you know you want to complete the 20 years and retire out of the Air Force. If there are no questions, this concludes my portion of the briefing.